Hello, 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 my beautiful people. Welcome back and thank you for coming. I have some sad news today about actress Raquel Welch. She actually passed away. She was a beautiful sex symbol from the movies back in the 60s, and I loved her. But first, before I get started, guys, I need you to go on and hit that subscribe button for me. I'm trying to get up to my 1,000 subscribers, guys. I need your help, and I'm almost there. So I need you guys to hit that subscribe button for me. I need you to tap on that notification bell if you want my updates immediately. You'll be notified. Also, if you like the content, tap that like button, and always, always, always leave me a comment in the comment section. Everything on this video is alleged. This video is being made for informational, educational, and entertainment purposes only. No copyright infringement is intended, and the video is being made under the Fair Use Act. Okay, guys, this beautiful, beautiful lady, some of us older people remember her, is Raquel Welch. Even if you don't know her from seeing her in the movies and you may be a little young, I'm sure you've heard her name. A lot of people have friends named Raquel, and Raquel the name came from this beautiful young lady right here. She was an actress, an excellent actress from back in the late 50s, early 60s, up until her passing. And she was very well known. I watched her as a kid, and I always thought that she was absolutely, absolutely beautiful. She played in a lot of movies that I watched as a child, and she was an excellent actress and a beauty to look at. She did a lot of outreach services with the military, and she traveled with Bob Hope to go out to the different bases and war zones to actually perform for the soldiers live. And believe me, guys, they loved it because she was such a beautiful person. There's one picture in particular of her that most people know and remember, especially the gentlemen in the world, because many, many, many of them had this picture of her as a poster, and a lot of the military men had it in their locker room, and many, 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 many people, gentlemen, I'm going to say, who was incarcerated had the poster in their cells. You can actually watch some movies and they have this poster featured in the movies where the men who are incarcerated are enamored by her. She was actually a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful woman, guys. She was a 1950s and 1960s well-known sex symbol. And she earned the title, guys, because she had a beautiful body and she was a beautiful woman. And all that knew her said that she was just as beautiful inside as she was on the outside. She was actually named the third most sexiest female star of the 20th century by Playboy magazine back in 1998. Only behind Marilyn Monroe and Jane Mansfield. And my opinion is they made a mistake on that, because I think that Raquel Welch was much more beautiful than either of the other two. The other two were beautiful, but I think that Raquel was much more beautiful and much more sexy, and she had that beautiful personality. If no one has ever heard anybody say a bad word about her, she's always been low-key, and she's always been very, 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 sweet and moral, to my opinion. If there's anyone who's got any bad information on her, I've never heard anybody say it. I've never heard anybody say anything negative about her during my entire lifetime, and I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I can tell you that I watched her as a little girl. Now, an article in the New York Times reads, Raquel Welch, the voluptuous movie actress who became the 1960s first American sex symbol and maintained that image for half a century in show business, passed away on Wednesday at her home in Los Angeles. She was 82. Mrs. Welch's Hollywood success began as much with a poster, and that's the poster that I just showed you guys that I said all the gentlemen had, as with the film it publicized. Starring in 1 Million Years BC was the name of the picture in 1966 as a Pleistocene era cave woman. She posed in a rocky prehistoric landscape wearing a tattered doe-skin bikini and grabbed the spotlight by the throat with her defiant, alert to everything, take no prisoner stance and her dancer's body. She was 26 at the time. It had been 4 years since Marilyn Monroe's death, and the industry needed a goddess, and they got one. The article reads, Camille Puglia, the feminist critic, described the poster photograph as an indelible image of a woman as queen of nature. Ms. Welch, she went on, was a lioness, fierce, passionate, and dangerously physical. And I'm not going to read this entire article, guys. I'm going to skip to different places. Some of it I feel is not going to be anything that you're going to be interested in. But it's in the New York Times, and you can always go back and read it for yourself. Despite a career based largely on sex appeal, Ms. Welch repeatedly refused to appear nude on screen. Personally, I always hated feeling so exposed and vulnerable in love scenes, she wrote in her memoir, noting that even when she appeared in a prestigious Merchant Ivory film, The Wild Party, in 1975, the filmmakers, those acclaimed arbiters of art house taste, pressured her to do a nude bedroom scene to no avail. And she did stand by her morals. The article goes on to say that Raquel Welch quoted, I've definitely used my body and sex appeal to advantage in my work, but always within limits, she said. But she added, I reserve some things for my private life, and they are not for sale. Good girl, good for you. Jo Raquel Tejada was born in Chicago on September the 5th, 1940, the oldest of 3 children. At age 7, encouraged by her mother, she rode at San Diego Junior Theater, where her only early disappointment was being cast in her first play as a boy. She began ballet classes the same year and continued to study dance for a decade. After graduating from La Jolla High School in San Diego, where her nickname was Rocky, she received a scholarship thanks to success in a local beauty pageants to study theater at San Diego State College, but she dropped out at 19 to marry her high school boyfriend, James Wesley Welch. Because of her local celebrity, she landed a job as the weather girl on KFMB, a San Diego television station. It wasn't long before she had a contract with major studio 20th Century Fox. She had early hopes of making her big screen debut in a James Bond movie. The producer, Albert R. Broccoli, wanted her for Thunderball, but that dream was quashed when she was cast in the movie Fantastic Voyage in 1966. Excellent movie, guys. I was a little child, and it always was intriguing, and it was amazing. It was a science film about scientists reduced to microscopic size to travel inside a diseased human body. Then came the movie 1 Million Years BC, and that did it for her. And that was the movie where she had the doe skin, bikini, the one that I showed you, the poster that all of the gentlemen everywhere had. Raquel was everywhere. She appeared in some 24 films over the next decade. Perhaps the most notably was Myra Breckenridge in 1970. Miss Welch had love scenes with the former football star Jim Brown in the movie 100 Rifles in 1969, a western set in Mexico. She followed The Three Musketeers with his 1974 sequel, but those films never led to the sophisticated comedy opportunities she hoped for. She did, however, have a memorable chance to display her comedic side years later when she played herself in a 1997 episode of Seinfeld. After the movie Mother Jugs and Speed in 1976, a farce about ambulance drivers, which also starred Bill Cosby and Harvey Keitel, her screen acting was limited mostly to television guest appearances. But she had already discovered the joys of stage work. Inspired after seeing Frank Sinatra's nightclub act, Miss Welch made her club debut singing and dancing at the Las Vegas Hilton in 1973. 8 years later, she made her Broadway debut, hired as a 2-week vacation replacement for Lauren Bacall in the hit Woman of the Year. Her reviews were so admiring, male gossip in the New York Times ended by writing, "One hopes that Miss Welch will soon find a musical of her own," that she returned the next year for a 6-month stint in the road. Miss Welch was married and divorced 4 times. After Mr. Welch, her husbands were Patrick Curtis, a producer, Andre Weinfeld, a French director and producer, and Richard Palmer, a restaurateur. In addition to her son, Miss Welch is survived by her daughter, Tiny Welch, and brother, Jimmy Tejada. In her late 70s, Miss Welch was still followed by photographers, and reporters were still commenting on her appearance because she was beautiful all the way until the day she left us, guys. Beautiful woman, very beautiful woman. In 2001, she answered questions about fashion and style in an interview with the Los Angeles Times. "Style has to have substance," she said. "It has to have fire, praising, synergy, instinct, imagination, and attitude all over. Trendiness in fashion magazine dictates," she concluded, "it's about being yourself on purpose." I'd like to personally thank Miss Raquel Welch for all of the beautiful memories she's given me in my lifetime of watching her perform and watching her on TV. She was an excellent woman, and I'd like to thank her for sharing herself with the world for all of these years. She had much to offer. She offered beauty. She offered morality. She offered comedy. She was a beautiful woman to look at, and she will be truly, truly, truly missed. Thank you for all that you've given, Miss Welch. Rest in peace. Now, guys, as always, if you didn't get the opportunity to subscribe to the channel at the beginning, then this is your opportunity a second time. Go on, if you like my content, and hit the like button. Please tap on that subscribe button because I'm working my way up to 1,000, guys. I'm new at this, and I'm working my way up to 1,000 subscribers, and I need you to hit that subscribe button for me. And if you want to get the updates immediately, tap on that notification bell and you'll know when a video drops. And always leave me a comment in the comment section. I love hearing from you guys. Thanks again. Rest in peace, Miss Welch. You will always be loved and you will never be forgotten. Smooches, guys.